Welcome back. You're still watching The Morning Show. We're in the first hour of our show here on ETV. Now, research shows that GDP growth is higher in countries with greater levels of trust. In fact, following a decade of institutional corruption in both our public and private sectors, South Africa's economic future remains uncertain. But how do we create trust in our economy? Is it even possible? Well, Terence Naidu, who's the founder of Envision-IT, has taken on this near impossible task and developed the world's first escrow app that essentially creates trust between strangers. Now, ePay ensures that buyers get what they've paid for and sellers and service providers get paid on delivery, thus encouraging people to do more business safely and securely. He's also part of an initiative called Go Global, led by the British High Commission. For more on this, we're joined on the show by Terence and Tom Moody, who's the head of Prosperity and Policy Programs for the British High Commission. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start by explaining what ePay is. For those people who are not well versed in the financial language, what is ePay?
So it's escrow is the product that we offer, and Envision-IT is the company.
Yeah.
Escrow is essentially to hold and trust. And as Envision-IT, we're a third-party payment provider where buyers place their funds with us. We confirm with the seller that the funds are there. They now have the peace of mind to deliver their product, knowing that they're going to get paid on delivery. As soon as they deliver the product to the buyer, we release payment to the seller. So for SMEs, it's fantastic. They get paid immediately on delivery. There's no cash flow issues, and buyers never get scammed.
Yeah.
If the seller and the service provider does not deliver the product, we simply return the funds back to the buyer. In that way, we work for both parties, ensuring both get exactly what they're intending to get.
What inspired you to develop this, Terence?
You know, as a country, we've been plagued by corruption in both the public and the private sector. And we can sit back and say, we're going to be victims to our circumstance, or are we going to do something about this? And you know, that's the ethos of the thinking behind Envision-IT. We innovate, we do it with integrity, and we invest back in the country. So the inspiration behind it really came from, how do we stop the scourge of corruption? And how do we use tech to do this? Escrow is the perfect way.
And Tom, how does the British High Commission get involved? I mean, what drew you to Terence's idea?
Well, I think to answer that question, you have to zoom out a little bit, actually. So, you know, the UK economy and the South African economy are quite intertwined.
Yeah.
South Africa is our biggest trading partner in Africa by a long way. The UK is the biggest FDI investor into South Africa. So it's a bit of a no-brainer, really, that we want to support each other and support the economy of South Africa growing.
Okay.
For someone like Terence, who's an entrepreneur here, who's really taking things into his own hands, it's part of our effort to support entrepreneurs in the tech sector to underpin that growth. And that's why the UK is launching something called Tech Hub, and that's part of a network of tech hubs which are being launched around Africa this year.
Okay.
South Africa is the first of those hubs. We launched that in February, but we're also doing that in Kenya and Nigeria later in the year. So to answer your question, I think what we look at in Terence is an entrepreneur who is supporting that inclusive growth through his work, which is really something we want to see here, underpinning poverty reduction through that growth. Also
supporting the positive spin-offs from our economy, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk, Tom, about the Go Global Africa Institute.
So Go Global is the pilot program of our new tech hub in South Africa, and it's an innovation scheme, really. So what it does is it brings startups like Terence over to the UK, and it allows them to partner with what we feel is a pretty good level of expertise in the UK.
Okay.
And it allows them to come back and sort of take their firms to the next level here in South Africa. We think that the products that we're supporting through firms like Terence's have a global appeal, but they're very much using local expertise to solve local problems.
Okay.
You know, we just spent 2 weeks in the UK over March and April.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like a mini tech MBA. It was an incredible program, incredibly well organized, well supported by the UK government, and we just learned so much. So we're exporting our products now and setting up offices in the UK, in Europe, following the program that we went through with the UK government.
Talk to me quickly about the program. What did you learn in the 2 weeks that you spent there?
So it was super intensive. We went through what the regulations are in the UK and taking our businesses global. We met loads of other tech entrepreneurs in various sectors, medtech, AI, blockchain, and what their experiences were from startup to growth phase. We learned how to present and pitch our ideas to a wider audience, and how to get investor ready to take on international investors as well as local investors to grow our businesses and ensure we have global businesses, not just micro, South African businesses itself.
And in closing, Terence, in 30 seconds, I mean, what investments has your company made in South Africa?
So we're driven by giving back to the country. We have a bursary program where we sponsored 30 kids we're sponsoring 30 kids this year through their tertiary education. We've got 20 graduates on there. We've got 1,200 kids on an online maths and reading program for early childhood development. And last year we launched the Envision-IT prize that awards a R1 million prize to students in grade 9 or 10 that come up with the best water harvesting idea. And just one more thing for your listeners. They can get onto our platform, and by using the voucher code The Morning Show, they get their first transactions free.
Oh, wow.
So all of your viewers get a free transaction on Envision-IT ePay, either downloading the app or going onto our website www.e-pay.africa.
That's incredible,
Yeah.
Terence. Thank you so much for just joining us this morning. And for that, so you heard the man. You can go on to www.e-pay and use the voucher code Morning Show.
The Morning Show.
The Morning Show, right? and you can get on there and do the right thing. That's where we leave it in our conversation with Terence and Tom from the British High Commission. We've got your news coming up at the top of the hour. Stay with us.